Hello my dear friends, hope you all be fine and doing well. Thank you so much for joining me in another video. My dear friends, in this video I am going to show you a very fantastic trap and I need your attention. So watch the video till to end and learn this fantastic trap. So my dear friends, this trap is a little bit different from previous traps. In this trap we are starting by pushing the pawn into c4. So when we are pushing the pawn into c4, majority of the players, they are pushing the pawn into e5. So now we are simply developing and activating our pieces by taking the knight into c3. So now your opponent is also activating his knight by taking it into c6. So most of the time these lines are happening in the same way. So this is the beginning of the game, this is the opening of the game. So majority of the players, they are playing in this way. So this is a system. So in here you just take out your knight into f3. If your opponent push the pawn into g6 and he is preparing to take his bishop into g7 and take the control in diagonal. In situation like this, you should remember one thing. You should sacrifice your pawn by pushing it into d4. You are sacrificing your pawn. So in here, if your opponent decides to take your pawn, now you have to take your knight into d5 and get more space and more territory in the side of your opponent. So in here, your opponent, because of protecting his pawn, he is taking the bishop into g7 and protecting his knight. So now in here the base move is coming for you, and that is taking the bishop into g5 and attacking to the queen. So your opponent usually in here taking the knight into e7 and covering this threatening. So now, for example, if you take, so he is taking by his knight. So this is the idea behind this move. And the other thing is that he is activating one of his pieces. Maybe you are thinking about this move. If your opponent push the pawn into f6, what would happen? And here you just simply take back your bishop into f4 and play slightly normal. For example, if he push the pawn again, now you have this fantastic move and taking the pawn into c7 and attack to the queen. Now your opponent queen is completely dead. So he has nowhere to go. So that's why you have this fantastic move. If your opponent play the pushing the pawn into c6. So in general, majority of players, they are taking the knight into e7 because this move is good for black, activating his pieces. So in this situation, you have the base move. Again, sacrificing. You sacrifice one of your pieces in here, and I will show you what is the big sacrifice for you. So now you should simply take the pawn by your knight. So when your opponent is seeing this move, so he cannot take your knight by his knight, because after this move you are taking his knight by your bishop and killing the queen. That is why your opponent is not doing such a thing. Maybe instead he is taking your knight by his bishop. Now, my dear friends, can you find the best move for white? If you were in this position and you had the white pieces, what would you play? What is the best move in here for white? My dear friends, definitely in here, as I told you a few seconds ago, sacrifices. You are sacrificing your queen by taking the bishop. So definitely your opponent is accepting your sacrifice. In situation like this, you have checkmate in only 2 moves. Can you find it, my dear friends? Yes. You are giving this brilliant check by your knight into f6. And there is only one square to go for your opponent, and that is f8. And you have brilliant check by your bishop, and that is mate. So your opponent cannot survive from this checkmate. So thank you so much, my dear friends, for watching this fantastic trap and fantastic video. If you are interested in the videos and contents that I am making, please subscribe the channel, share it with your friends. In this way, you are motivating me to make lots of good videos. And don't forget to hit the bell icon, so whenever I am uploading a new video, so you should be the first one to watch that video. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.